What's up, everyone? Today we are over on the PTR and we're going to take a closer look at the current state of leaderboards. And again, this is the current state. I really hope that they actually make some adjustments before it hits the live version of the game, because if they don't, we're in trouble. But regardless, let's jump in and take a closer look. So the PTR, within the PTR, you can find the leaderboards within the mode section. So you've got the OPR, 3v3s, and then leaderboards. So let's jump right in. Overall interface looks good. It looks like there's a countdown for weekly, monthly, and then quarterly. Pretty cool overall. And then we can see that there's 5 main sections. First one, Mutated Expeditions. When we jump in here, we can see that there's some subsections here. And it looks like maximum score and clear time both get rewards. So there's there's a skin and a title for top 5 and top 25. It looks like the skins are almost identical but slightly different. Like this one's it's got like a little bit of a gold tint, and this one's more silvery, which makes sense. And it's also categorized, it looks like, by individual characters, company, and then faction. But for Mutated Expeditions, it looks like it's only really segmented as characters. So that's good to know. Faction War, this is going to be interesting. Days governed by faction, no rewards, which kind of stinks there. Company, no rewards there as well for any of these subsections. And then individual, I'm sure there's something here. I believe that the only reward in regards to Faction War is individual and its score. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this. If you guys have been, participating in wars, you probably understand that the highest score doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in a war. It actually means the opposite. And most times it's typically like a mage that's just throwing some DOT damage over the whole war. They're just throwing AoE moves and clumps and just kind of sitting there not doing a ton of stuff. So we'll see if that changes, but again, it would be kind of hard regardless to kind of reward individuals in war situations. But when it's typically only based on score, it definitely opens up, a lot of questions, because people are going to be trying to stat pad within wars, and that's not going to have a good result for their company or the side that they're working with. Next up, let's talk about PvE things. There's lots of different subsections here, but ultimately it adds up to score. That's kind of cool. I mean, maybe this will actually get people to do more invasions. This is the only thing I'm kind of a fan of, honestly, at this point. Because score for invasions, I get it. You're just trying to kill things as fast as possible. It's not as important as a war and things along those lines. So I'll definitely be probably jumping into some more invasions once this hits live to try to get myself one of these rewards, especially since for this one it looks like the top 50 get something rather than top 25. Also, it looks like individual trials also get rewards. So I'm not really sure how these trials are going to be categorized, because it's not like you get specific scores for these today, right? Maybe they'll add some sort of like clear time in regards to how these are kind of categorized for the rewards. Same with corruption breaches. So I think that they're actually doing a big update with corruption breaches, so they're going to be a little bit more difficult to complete. So it'll be interesting to see how those are breaking up too. I guess we'll wait and see. Next up, PvP. Not a huge fan of this one at all. So right now, the only way you can actually win something in regards to skins within OPR is based on total score, which definitely sets us up for a lot of sketchy stuff that's about to happen, right? So if it's only based on score, I wouldn't be surprised to kind of see, yeah, look at this guy, 10,000 points higher than everyone else. I bet his damage is like disgusting. Yeah, literally over twice as much as second place. So my thought process is, this is probably like some bruiser or some mage who got, with his buddies, which are some healers, they hid in a corner and they just exchanged back and forth, which honestly definitely will be the case if this stays the same situation once it hits live. So we'll see how that goes. Open world, okay, influence earned. That's kind of cool, I guess. It's going to promote more wars across the board in a way. So top 10 and top 50 for this in regards to influence earned, get these skins. We'll see what happens there. 3v3 arenas. There's no rewards when it comes to 3v3 arenas, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think 3v3 arena wins would probably be a good win, a good category to actually get some prizes for. I mean, right now it feels like New World in general hasn't been a huge fan of promoting these, right? Because I don't know about you, but my server is pretty populated, and it still takes a lot of time for 3v3s to even queue. And if OPR is going to be the only one that gives rewards in this, between these two, then it's going to get even more dead, which I'm not a big fan of. But again, I guess we'll see. And then the last section, trade skills, which also, I mean, for all of these different categories, there's no quarterly reward or anything along those lines yet. I hope this changes, but again, a lot of things have to be adjusted in order for these to be fair. Because let's say someone stocked up on those 600 gear score Christmas scrolls, right? If this is based primarily on the number of 600s crafted, then if I just have a stash of Raider, Spriggan Bane, and like 600 gear score event scrolls, am I just going to pick up an easy win without really having any risk of kind of hitting those 600s? But again, these are all just questions. I'm hoping that a lot of these change over time, but only time will tell. But again, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments, and stay tuned because I'll keep you all up to date in regards to any major changes coming to these New World leaderboards.